Hello and welcome everyone to New Moon 2022 Intermission for Pool Party. So today I'm your host Player Zero, and you might be wondering, Player Zero, what happened to the 4.5 tournament I was talking about? And to that, basically, I'll say stay tuned. So we have a few tournaments planned for the end of this year. We'll probably have 1 or 2 standard BN6 and then 2 weeks 4.5 action. But enough of future planning. Today we are here for the pool party. So we haven't had the pool party in quite a bit actually. I think it's been over a year. So if you are new, welcome, and I'll briefly explain what the format is. So pool party is a tournament hosted by Shadow where there is basically a pool of chips that players can pick their folders from. And you can see most of these chips on the screen now. They're rotating in the background. But there are some limitations. So there is a pool of 50 chips that get randomly assigned by Shadow. 7 mega chips, I believe. You can only get these chips as your options, and even if the MB value allows you to run more, you can only use 3 copies of each chip. So for example, you can only have a maximum of 3 area grabs, 3 panel grabs, or I mean, if these are in the pool, I don't actually remember. I think they are, but yeah. The second limitation, which is also very noticeable, is that players can only use the base 5x5 of their Navicos. So if you're wondering why is no one using the extra area that we are used to seeing, then that's why it's literally in the rules. And finally, there are no Giga or SP mega chips in the pools either. So again, these chips are probably too powerful to have, and if you're wondering why they are missing, that is the reason it's more important. Yeah, that's pretty much the format. It's pretty simple. Otherwise, it's everything you might expect from Battletworld 6. So you can peace out, you can go into crosses, you can do whatever you want. And before we head into our first match of the day, I do want to give a quick shout out to the donation that we received since the last stream. That was the monthly donation by Red Ace 100. So thank you again for continuing that. Alright, and without further ado, joining me on commentary today is going to be Shadow. Welcome to the stream.
Hey Zero, thanks everyone for playing. Thanks everyone for showing up for the stream. I'm really excited to watch some of these matches. I really love playing Pool Party. It's just exciting to see what people come up with. Trying to build your own folder, not really having the staples that you're used to, not having stuff like Judge Man and Killer Man. It's fun, it's different, and it's really exciting to see what everyone kind of gravitates towards. And there will be quite a few PAs, a lot of ones you don't usually see, some corn fiestas and more. So I always love watching what people come up with.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think the 5x5 Navicus is very interesting because we're also used to using the extra area, but this is more like what people use in their normal playthroughs. They rarely know or even use the outside ban. So it's a bit interesting to tap into that potential as well.
For sure.
Alright, with that, let's head into the setups for our first match of the day with Rockin vs Daric Leland. Okay, so you can already see the effects of these rules. So the Navicus has this very unusual shape and there are no indications for the Giga chips.
Yeah, so looking at these, one of the things is that you always end up with a few less custom. It's pretty hard to play with a lot of custom when you only have 5x5. So 7 custom is about as high as you get. And it's always fun to see shield as well. But the health, it's low. And 1250 is quite a low amount for Rockin. But we also have a ton of defensive chips here. So, a lot of people kind of went with lower health in their Navicus, but a lot more effective health with their folders. And we see some 2 recovery 200s, bubble wrap, sanctuary, all in Z code, W with barrier 200, and the 2 magnums, which can really be used offensively or defensively depending on how you aim it. And also reflector 2, which was a chip that I was excited to see in the pool and maybe see a few people use.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, because this is the format, that's how, you have access to a limited pool of chips. So you often are going to see a lot of different codes and different variations of things that people are running. But if we look at Rockin's side, we can see they do have that wavearm PA, which I forget the exact name of the PA itself. Power Wave? Oh.
Power Wave.
Yeah, okay. Power Wave 3, which I think does 600 damage and could potentially also be boosted by anger.
Yeah, and something that I thought was really interesting, a few people opted to reg their assassin sword, which I thought was a really interesting tech, especially because there's so many ways to use it in this format with 2 white capsules, which he has tagged, so that'll show up real early, and also a lot of grass in this set. I don't see one on Rockin, but most people are running a boomer or 2.
Assassin Sword's the one that takes either the paralysis or the elemental punch, right? It's either or.
Yeah, either or. And you also start a lot of matches with ice panels, and I think there's a grass stage too.
Yeah.
So
I think even volcano panels count, because I remember they do count for tornado boosting, so they probably count this as well. Just interesting.
Yeah, you say so.
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not too sure.
And then looking over at our other competitor, Daric, we see mostly G code and Gregor. So, some of these chips like Vulcan 3 can be charged by Electcross, and we'll see that throughout the day as well. And that means that if they chip charge it, it'll get a paralysis effect. It'll be kind of like adding a white capsule to it. So they have, 2 Vulcan 3s that they can potentially charge, and then as well as 3 white capsules. We're seeing a lot of white capsules in this game.
Yeah, and Daric decided to go for the attack max as well, so they can potentially go into Beast Out because they are in Gregor. Go into these very, very strong Gregor chip charges.
Definitely. And we also see panel return, which I thought would be a fun a fun chip to have here, especially with all the magnums. You can't really fit air shoes into a 5x5. You can, but
yeah,
it'll be your whole cust.
Yeah. Alright, and with that, I believe we're ready to head see how the match goes. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, we're starting with a lot of R-coded chips.
Yeah, it's an interesting first hand. He probably doesn't have anything to use the Assassin Sword with, and he doesn't want to heal with roll yet. So let's see what he opts for. He is playing against a Falzer opponent, so he might want to use that machine gun in case they go dust.
We'll see Electros will bubble, but that was on the Holy panel, which does reduce the damage by half. And counter it, unfortunately being wasted on that wind drag. They could have actually held off on using the wind drag and just went into the turn to see what comes up.
Looks like they've already started to get part of their PA ready.
Oh yeah, one common play that people often go for is using tag PAs, but I don't think you can tag wave arm. I don't fully remember actually.
I think the third one might be a little too much.
Ooh. Do you see that Vulcan play as you mentioned? Oh wow!
No.
Counter it followed by the double damage person. And Reflector is actually very interesting. You don't often run it in standard BN6, but it lasts for so long that people often end up just accidentally countering themselves on it.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of value. It stopped an attack, and it also gave him full sync.
Now we see Slash Cross. Slash Cross is infamous for how much damage it can do, and there are area grabs in this pool. So let's see how Rockin is able to deal with this pressure.
Hopefully we see a few stop by shield.
Oh, nice. So unfortunately that was on a Holy Panel as well. These Holy Panels are actually having a big impact already.
Yeah, and it looks like he has an answer to it too, as well with Magnum, but he opts not to go for it.
Oh, dropping the barrier 200 and another air grab coming down. So now let's see if Rockin is able to shield things.
He does get the roll off when it's not on Sanctuary, so that barrier should be pretty close.
I think unfortunately that shield ran out just in time for the charge up, but they do have quite a bit of defensive turn going into this next turn, so they can take the bubble wrap, recovery, and then the grab revenge to regain the area. So that would be interesting to see what they decide to order. The unfortunate thing with PAs, and part of the reason why people don't run them as much in standard BN6, is that you often just end up being lost on that final PA part and having to dig through your whole folder with 2 chips, just taking up space.
Yeah, especially when custom comes at such a high price in your Navi Cust.
Last man coming down, but unfortunately is going to miss.
We see the area grab coming out. I believe that his opponent only has one more left.
Yeah, because the maximum is 3 and we've already seen 2. They've already used Electros though, and I don't think they have any other answers to this power up. This could actually prove very painful for Daric Leland.
Yeah, you're right. You know, one of the interesting things is there weren't a lot of elect chips this time around. And especially with bubble wrap, it can be devastating to Gregar players who are relying on charge shots.
There are wind drags in the pool, but I'm not sure if Daric already used one or both. Oh, nice shield. Pretty good movement from Rockin, able to survive in the game still, but unfortunately their hand is looking a bit more soupy, I guess. They're looking at all of these different codes and how they want to use them together. I think personally I might have gone for the Sanctuary this turn, just because it's effective HP to keep you alive. Ooh, nice. Using the bubble wrap to interrupt the chip charge.
And you know, bubble wrap itself is really difficult for killer beast out to deal with because their chip charge comes back right as the bubble does. Oh, and there's the PA.
Oh, nice. PA does 600 damage, so that would bring them down to 1 HP, but Daric Leland does run a recovery 200, which I don't think we've seen. There are also anti-damages in this pool, so don't forget 3 anti-damages, Sanctuary, which Daric also runs, so these can be things to block out this PA, but let's see if they can pull it off. Ooh, just going for it, nice!
And that's the first match.
Oh yeah, during that last match you mentioned the Killer Cross? What is the Killer Cross? I don't think I know what that is.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna get followed down by the moms of America. Sorry, a race cross. Ooh, and this Beast Out Vulcan turn.
That was actually a pretty big combo because in Beast Out you get access to plus 30 to all null chips, and Vulcan does 5 hits, I believe. So that's an extra 150, which is quite good.
Yeah, definitely a strong turn for both players, doing a lot of damage and using up their white capsules at the start.
Yeah, I think they both have one left in their folder somewhere, but that was a very explosive turn, and now they're both locking into the Beast Out as well, so they are going to be limited in what they can do in the late game. We need to make the best value out of the Beast as they have it now. Ooh. It's an unfortunate TFC because the Sanctuary is going to fix these panels.
Does land it. Get some damage off.
Yeah, chip charges. Doesn't seem like it, but base Gregor and Falzar Beast Out chip charges can actually do 200 damage. They're just divided over 2 hits at attack max. It's pretty good if you can land them. They charge very quickly.
Yeah, especially when you have a low amount of health like this. You know, going attack max really can swing things, especially just the Gregor busters. So strong.
There is the other chip charge, but recovery comes down to help nullify some of the damage. Ooh, machine gun. Nice. I guess that is the issue of the beast charges, that they can be, I wouldn't say easily, but they can be dodged.
Yeah, as long as you keep moving, he's going kind of in a clockwise pattern here. It seems to be working out well for him.
So actually one of the things that the pool doesn't have too much of is area clearance outside of the magnets. So one play that Rockin could have done here is to go into Dust Cross and use the chip charge to break these panels and create a lot of holes, which would be difficult for Daric Leland to maneuver around.
Definitely. And I believe we've already seen 2 machine guns from Daric, so
Ooh.
he shouldn't be too afraid of Dust Cross at the moment.
I think they have a magnum. No, they don't. Okay, so it is just the machine guns.
Yeah, so it looks like there's one more machine gun.
Oh, unfortunate missing. The magnum and the machine gun also completely misses. Nice.
Winrack does get rid of the bubble wrap, and we see a nice counter hit.
So unfortunately, because Rockin had already used Beast Out and as a result is in the tired state, they don't have access to Anger or Full Synchro. Ooh, Slash Cross coming out again. This time Rockin might not be able to deal with it very well, especially... Oh, never mind, there is the area grab, so that might fully negate it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Ooh, getting rid of the grass, but also getting rid of his sanctuary. He's going to try and pressure at the front.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if that was actually worth it. I feel like Sanctuary was probably more value, and now we see that PA, but Rockin is deciding to go with a bit of safety, just going with roll to get some recovery, then maybe next time. We're throwing away Blastman to get the extra area, but there is also that barrier 200. Ooh, this might be the end for Rockin if they aren't able to survive the stand.
See if they can get some shields off.
Oh no, very close. Okay, the Holy Pounds are actually doing very well for them, but now they would have to take the Wind Drag first to deal with that barrier 200. Although they have their own barrier 200, which would be nice. Or could go into Tengu Cross, though that seems a bit risky.
That would be very scary. It will be 400 health on the Sanctuary. But I don't know, Slash with attack max can get through that pretty quick.
Oh no, there was a Wind Drag as well that completely negates it. Let's see if there is a shield coming down.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, Beast Over actually. This could still be winnable for Rockin if this Beast Over uses the Power Wave at the right time and lands it. That could be game. And there it goes.
No.
The Buster Shots will finish it off.
Wow, what a powerful wave of a first match there.
Ooh, I like this, I like this. But yeah, that was actually a very close match to start off with. I mean, that Beast Over was a good play. I feel like Beast Over often ends up being neglected because Beast can sometimes throw away some of your chips randomly. So
Yeah, and it was pretty risky. I wasn't quite keeping track of how many anti-damages Daric had left,
oh yeah.
but one anti-damage can stop the whole thing, and you're kind of stuck. You have no more other chips to use because you're playing a soup PA.
Yeah, and I mean, they were at 1 HP, so the next 10 would have been pretty rough for them. But yeah, well played to both sides. That will bring us into the setups for our next match of the day with Soren vs Gitsman. So I believe Soren might have joined other tournaments in the past, but I think Gitsman is a new player. I don't recognize the name. It would be interesting to see what they go for.
Yeah, I take a few breaks every once in a while. If you didn't notice, but I try to keep up with the new players and watch some streams. But yeah, welcome to some of the new players, especially in this tournament. I'm so happy that a lot of new players showed up. Looking at the setups, Soren, the first thing you might notice is he has the Corn Fiesta PA at the top there, regged and tagged. So I feel like we're going to be seeing that pretty often. And also he has the Power Wave PA. So, if you missed it last game, there may or may not be one or two in this game. And looking at his Navicust, I said last time Custom 2 was quite a bit. He actually has Custom 3, which takes up pretty much his whole Navicust. 400 HP, Super Armor, the undershirt, and Cust 8. So that's probably a smart move if you're using two PAs that are different codes.
Yeah, but unfortunately that also means they have access to basically no attack, no speed, and only that single charge in their Navigas. So they wouldn't be able to rely on their charge shots that often.
Yeah, and I think Falzer in particular has some really good built-in defenses just by beasting out or using its crosses. You know, sometimes you don't necessarily need to have a huge amount of charge or a huge amount of attack to get a lot of value out of a Falzer cross, especially with all the magnums.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of them have pretty good utility in just being able to break panels or Tengu pushing the opponent away, something like that.
Yeah, and looking at Soren's folder, it looks like we have kind of a T code and a lot of defenses in a Z code, and then the PAs. But you'll see a lot of grass here and 3 blast man. So, you know, if you never thought you could fit more than one of the same mega chips in, you can fit in 3 blast man. You can fit in 2 rolls. There's a lot of interesting Navi text that you can use in Pool Party that you might not see otherwise.
Yeah, and I mean, unless you are like Marvino, you do only mostly run 1 blast man, but the Mad Lad always always uses the 5 or was it 6 blast man that you can use in one build.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Because I think you can blast many X use 2 of them as well, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we see some defenses, some Z code, the Sanctuary, the Recovs, and he's really just going for damage with the PAs. So let's see if they come out. And looking over at Gitsman, we see another attack max Gregar. So maybe some similar plays to the last match, and we also have 4 charge 1, so we're going to have charge max as well. And an interesting tech in beat. I don't think that I saw a lot of people running beat this time around, but that'll definitely stop at least 1 blast man, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, so beat's interesting because in normal BN you might think, oh, it would probably deny a high value Navi, and in this case it's a bit less so, because I mean it would deny Blastman, but Blastman isn't really that worth it compared to what you could potentially get from using other things in beat's position.
Yeah, but you know, we see all that grass. Who knows? Looking at Gitsman's folders, we see the 3 magnums, some I code, specifically so that he can fit in the Golem hit 1, which was a really interesting tech. It'll be really good against slash crosses, but since they're playing against a Falzer folder, we might not see it have as much value. You know, there's also, I think there's Fan in the pool. We don't see it here, but I think there's a way to pull him to the front in case you really wanted to use Golem hits.
Daric traps are probably going to be very valuable as well as the magnet, because you can indirectly use them to basically force where your opponent can move and use that to land Golem. So it is a Golem hit 1, which unfortunately doesn't quite do the most damage.
Yeah. And you see he has the Power Wave PA as well, so we're going to be waving on both sides, waving to each other.
Nice. Alright, I guess time to wave past that pun and head into the match and see how it plays out.
Let's do it.
Alright, and we can see one of the fields that we've mentioned earlier. That is a all grass field, but there are also these boulders which Soren is looking to use as big rocks.
Yeah, we see him go into dust to try to suck up the rocks. That's an extra 200 damage, which is a lot of damage if you only have 1,000 health opponent.
Oh, there is also that machine gun start, which is going to deal with the anti-damage. But they catch up with the animation. Let's see if they can land it. Oh no.
Ooh.
Very nice movement there. Being able to dodge that machine gun, keeping their anti-damage, then landing in charge on grass as well.
And we have the Corn Fiesta PA already, but he does have a anti-damage up on the other side, so we probably need to wait to land a chip charge or an area grab to trigger that anti-damage.
That was a pretty big TFC. If that played out in a different order, then that would have been that would have allowed Gitsman to keep their anti-damage. But now, I mean, already Gitsman's ahead on HP, but let's see how long that's going to last. Locking in that PA, just going straight for the kill.
Trying to get a D-cross as well with that charge shot, it seems. Since charge gives you some extra custom every turn. Oh no!
That's one of the positions that the PA fully misses on. Oh no!
That was too bad. So the Corn Fiesta hits a 3x3 in front of you. But it's centered around you, so you really have to make sure you're in that middle front row to hit people.
Yeah, and it also has a bit of an RNG element in that it can hit basically a random number of times, so you can do quite a bit of damage, or not a lot of damage basically.
And you know, now that he's seen the Corn Fiesta come out, he's ready to go into Elect Cross and try to decross that Aqua.
When we do see that beat coming into effect, but there is also that bubble wrap, which I guess is going to backfire against an Elect Cross.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong turn for Gitsman here to catch him off guard.
Oh no, and decross off the Holy Panel as well. These charge shots are doing massive damage.
Oh, I see we have a last man count in the Twitch chat, so let's try to keep track of that.
Nice. Well, now we see like Beast coming out, but that boomer miss. Ooh,
really good movement.
Very nice.
Third one.
Soren is still in the game, but
ooh. The status guard from T-Hawk allowed him to follow through with that charge shot, which is both sword and grass, so we got rid of the Elect Cross. And we're going Beast out so that we can move again. Wow.
I didn't expect they would get out the recovery in time.
Me neither.
But they are still down to 1 HP from that Blast Man, which unfortunately is going to make it very difficult to survive a full turn against the Beastbuster, but Spoutman looks like is going to finish off.
He just wants to play in the pool party as well.
Yeah, it's always funny seeing Spoutman in the pool party. He's I mean, pretty strong Navi, especially start.
Yeah, especially in start. It really makes it difficult to play Gregar if you start out with a star code Spoutman.
Gitsman going for that heat cross against the Tomahawk. This might be very difficult for Soren if they get clipped by the charge shots, especially now that they lose their anti-damage, but they managed to get a counter it. Let's see if this lands. It does.
Seen a lot of D-crosses this match. It's a lot of 2 times damage, getting rid of each other's crosses here. And 2 machine guns. Okay, we're redoing it.
And we've already seen 1 anti-damage. Taking 2 machine guns could be a good play, especially if they can get a counter hit. But unfortunately, oh no. Let's see if the Magnum lands, and it does.
And the D-Cross does get rid of your current action, so we lose the machine gun there. Looks like Charge Cross is just getting rid of those ice cubes. He's done using the breaking element of the Charge Cross to give him some space. And we see the Corn Fiesta coming out again, maybe?
Well, let's see if this time, hopefully they can connect it. I think the area is a bit more advantageous. They can more easily line up, but a miss here would be devastating. Okay.
And TFC.
Let's hope. Alright, it's going all the way.
He just wanted to heal, and he ended up with some corn in his face instead.
Yeah, and actually, that heal could have allowed them to survive. So using TFC Corn Fiesta was pretty big. Going into this turn, they are thinking about staying in baseman, which might be they're looking to get a counter hit or just avoiding risking any decross, as we've seen quite a number so far. Losing anti-damage to a charge shot beat takes away that Proto Man. Let's see if this machine gun can land the target though.
And we have 5 of the 6 chips for both PAs already.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going for it.
Alright, let's see if Corn Fiesta can have a big impact. Oh no!
Oh no. That seemed like a lot of hits too.
Yeah, there would have been a lot of damage, but unfortunately, the anti-damage does block all of it.
Staying in the back row, even though it's cracked, just to avoid some of those slash charges.
Yeah, that's very wise, because stepping forward obviously mean they are locked into that 3x2. Ooh, but now a cross chain, so Gitsman deciding to go into a race. We might be seeing Magnum. I don't think they are running any machine guns.
I don't believe so.
Ooh, but counter hit followed up by a charger. Ooh, barely missing out on the counter window. I think that was very close actually.
It did look close. You know, with a race cross, you really want to use that machine gun right before they're about to release it, because then they're just kind of sitting there and they can't release it until the machine gun is done, or else they'll probably get counter hit.
But now we do see the beast outcoming, so ooh.
Ooh, Beast out, you having a mind of its own, using a lot of chips. Oh, and the D-Cross here.
I think that was a single wave arm, so that means there is no wave arm PA for Gitsman, but they are able to interrupt the chip charge if this Wood Dragon connects, which it does, then ooh, not quite. If Soren was able to use the other Wood Dragon, that would have left Gitsman at 1 HP.
A little bit of a defensive turn, but I think they can manage it.
One power up is actually very nice against Heat Beast as well. Let's see if there's not quite enough time.
Ooh, but the grab regen does take it. It was calculated. A loss for a win.
Yeah, and I guess we did see all of the anti-damages from Gitsman. I think they might still have barrier 200, but they had nothing to counter it. That ended the game. GG's and well played. It's always good. Gitsman and Soren were both very strong showing. Seeing a lot of these PAs as well, which is always interesting. Alright, and with that, let's head into the setups for our next match with Soup vs Josue. So I believe Soup might be another new player. I don't fully remember if they joined a new move. But fun fact, Josue started their first tournament in the N1GP, which I believe is over a year ago now, was a pool party. So there they are again.
Hey, welcome. always happy to see some new players, and see we had some new players this year. Maybe next year we'll have some returning players, or maybe we'll have a pool party before a year. We'll see.
I mean, by next year it might be on the collection itself, so you never know.
Great. So looking at these setups here, we have Soup, who is going for Buster Pack. Now this is a really fun Navicust piece that you don't really see in normal BN6 play, because it's not exactly the most effective thing, especially when you can put attack max outside the range, outside in the outside of the 5v5. He has custom 1 super armor, 300 health. This is a very stable, very level Navicust to really do whatever you need to, especially in Gregor that has some good charge shots, some good chip shots. And looking at his folder, we see a lot less splash than some of the other people we've seen so far. A lot of W code, a lot of Z code, and a single bubble star are probably to deal with an opposing charge cross.
Oh, you do see that Soup decided to go for the triple blast man, double tomahawk man, so that's going to be an interesting mix, switching between fire and grass.
Yeah, always love to see doubling up on some navies. Tomahawk, I think, is one of the few ways that we have to deal with Tengu in this format, especially for a Gregor player that's running 3 Magnums. They really probably want to get rid of that Tengu, and T-Hawk is really helpful because, unlike Proto Man and Slash Man, he can hit people that have a hole in front of them, which is not unlikely seeing as we have all of these Magnums.
So, speaking of sword chips, Soup also decided to go with the bamboo swords, which is very interesting to go for, especially with the Magnum.
Yeah, we see bamboo sword, which can be charged by both T-Hawk and Felzer, but also Slash and Gregor, so that it becomes a sonic boom.
Though unfortunately, because it's not sword as the primary element, it doesn't get the plus 50 boost that you'd get with Slash boost.
Yeah, you miss out on that, but you also get a chip that's going to hit pretty much no matter what, unless they have some defenses up.
Yeah, and it also doesn't apply flashing, so you can use it, follow up Magnum, so use it to decross, follow up Magnum, or something like that. So it does have very strong potential as well.
That's a great point. And we see he has Grab Revenge tagged. I feel like that's probably to ensure that Slash Cross gets some really good value. So we might see some Slash Crosses at the start.
Yeah, so looking at Josue's side, they are also running the 3 area grabs. I think 3 area grabs, Grab Revenge, Sanctuary are going to be a very common theme we have across all of these builds, because it is a very strong combo.
Yeah, I think you just kind of need it to check Slash Cross. There's that Golem hit that a few people have been running, but Slash is really strong. And let's see what else Josue has. Some Vulcan, a tank cannon. Love to see tank cannon. It is can push away Slash, but it can also cause even more cracked panels and just really destroy the terrain as well. See a lot of G code.
Unfortunately, that is also a tank cannon one. Tank Cannon Golem hit, I feel like very underrated, and unfortunately in this pool they're both level 1, which does make them a bit weak as a chip to go for.
Okay, we'll get him at level 2 for you next time.
I mean, level 3 would be pretty spicy. I think they're both in M code. That would make M code very strong.
Alright, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I mean...
we also see Josue has Risky Honey, which we haven't seen yet. Great chip in Pool Party. Gives you some defense, gives you some offense, a way to deal with Electros, a way to stop a slash charge hit. We'll see how much value he gets out of those. Some machine guns, wood dragons. We can also charge both the Honey and the wood dragon with T-Hawk. Unfortunately, there is no attack plus chips in this pool, so Risky Honey loses out a little bit there, and we also don't have a banish in code, so you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, though, as Aht is mentioning in Twitch chat, that Josue's Navicast is perfectly symmetrical, so they are I mean, they think Josue is at an advantage, which, I mean, I can see it. It's pretty good Navicast.
I can see it.
But do you have anything else to add before we hit this?
No, not really. I mean, we see a lot of this kind of Z core across all of our players. So let's just see, how we answer that. I see wood dragons, magnums for the sanctuary. Yeah.
Before we head into our next match, so during the previous match, we had a donation from Buster Cannon, which just says Cobb. So thank you for the $30 donation, Buster.
I'm sure we'll see some more corn fiestas to make it even more Cobb.
Yeah, though unfortunately not in this match as far as I can see, but hopefully the next one. Alright, do that into the match, see how it plays out. Oh, and you mentioned it during the last game, but there is that wind in Soup's folder. They are able to use that. Actually, they have 2 air grabs as well, so using air grab, dropping down the wind chip is going to be very strong, actually.
Yeah, this is a rough start, maybe, for Josue. Let's see what he ends up doing. But he does have 1800 health. He has super armor too, so that's one of the highest health you can get with the super armor.
One of the highest. I see what you're doing there. Might have to wait for the next, few games to see why that was specified. Oh, nice. Very good patience from Soup, avoiding getting counter hit by the machine gun and then the Risky Honey as well.
Yeah, T-Hawk is definitely an interesting answer to Slash. They can both charge up and have a similar hit range, but Slash is a bit faster, and unfortunately Josue does not have any attack in his Navicast.
And only charge 3 compared to, I believe, charge max, Soup max.
Grab Revenge comes out, but Last Man might just hit, and it does.
Fortunately, taking that D-Cross means they wouldn't be able to get much benefit out of the area. Ooh, nice.
And we see the fan doing a little bit of work. Was pretty sure that they weren't going to go into dust, so I think Soup felt safe putting that down at least the last turn.
They do have Magnum for this turn as well, but they are deciding to go against it and instead going with the Grab Revenge and then maintaining area. Looks like it pays off.
Oof. That was scary. If they had gone dust. But they do have the Blast Man to answer. A lot of value off that Blast Man, killing the fan and getting a hit.
Yeah, now Soup is able to maintain the +1 area, which will allow them to land. This is stream of charge shots, unless that was denied by a Vulcan.
Yeah, you love to see the Vulcan just stun for so long. Because the White Capsule works on every hit.
Yeah, I think in the previous match we saw that actually give anger, which you can get anger by being paralyzed for over 121 frames. That's basically 2 seconds of paralysis, which is quite long.
We do see him using the bamboo sword with the slash cross, so let's see how that works out.
Oh, anti-damage is going to block that Windrak, so that means Soup is going to maintain the plus area. Machine gun comes down, only 1 hit. Ooh, chip charge is ready to go into the next turn. The ×2 bubble was pretty big though, and now they're about even on HP. 100 difference between them.
Yeah, seeing as Josue started out with, what, 500 more health? It's really close.
Now Soup's taking a very defensive turn, starting with an anti-damage followed by a Navi, which I believe was Blastman. Okay, no time for his counters yet. The tank cannon unfortunately misses.
Let's get a bit of area back.
Oh, nice. Playing it patient, waiting for that TFC to use the anti-damage. Now Magnum's going to connect, maybe? Okay, it does.
Seems like a good spot for it. A lot of good slash dodging here.
Yeah, very well played from Josue, but unfortunately now there is that crack panel, so they have 2 options. They either go into Tengu or have to risk being locked down by these broken panels and being unable to avoid these charge shots. I guess never mind, there is the option number 3.
Nice waiting on that Magnum.
Ooh, but
and
yeah.
a row lock. Is it gonna be an area grab kill? Oh god.
Ooh,
nope.
Not quite.
Denying the area grab kill.
But Tomahawk is more than good enough to finish off Josue and take us to a game 2.
Yeah, so we're seeing Blastman get a lot of value here, especially because so many of these starting stages end up with grass.
Yeah, I mean, never felt like there were so many grass stages, but I guess they come in when they can't.
I guess you've never played against a E-code folder with Blastman SP. That always seems to end up on the first turn.
Actually, now that you say that, Elementsman SP always also comes out on the grass field.
Ooh, and this is a really nice Magnum because it forces the Spout Cross to be in one of the 2 rows and probably get hit.
Oh wow, so Josue was trying to go for the counter hit, but unfortunately Tank Cannon does have a bit of startup, so that made it a bit too slow and they got decrossed beforehand.
It was a really good try, it was close.
Yeah. But now they are in this difficult position, so they might end up going into Beast Out Tengu, or as we saw last game, use a Sanctuary to fix these panels.
Yeah, and we see Soup getting out of Electros. I think that's probably a good idea because they have Josue has so many wood chips.
Unfortunately, going a bit too soon with that Magnum. This could risk a Sanctuary coming down from Josue. Oh, seems like nothing is coming out.
Ooh, a nice counter hit.
Ooh, nice. Then getting back at them with their own Proto Man ×2, do 300 damage. counter is just such a good mechanic. Puzzle to work. I'm so glad they added that in.
Yeah, Josue opting not to cross out as often this time, trying to fish for those counter hits, and it really paid off.
Ooh, but now there is that power up, which might make it a bit difficult for Josue to deal damage. But thankfully, Soup doesn't have any area advantage to press. Ooh, and another counter hit.
And fortunately for Josue, who has no attack damage, a 1 damage feather will continue to do 1 damage on Sanctuary.
Yeah, I guess that's your attack's too weak to make a difference. But we'll have to see what Josue decides to follow up with that full synchro. They do have a few good options. There's the Brawl 2, which will also double up the healing, maybe Risky Honey, or a Wood Dragon to deal with these Sanctuary panels.
Yeah, let's see if you can keep it long enough. It seems like Soup has a lot of options to deal some immediate damage as well.
Ooh, just
Oh,
barely.
no.
But that was an unfortunate TFC because Cards of Chips can remove traps, so unfortunately meant that Josue lost on the anti-damage, and also Soup avoided the Wood Dragon.
This is going to be a real annoying fan on a Sanctuary panel.
Yeah, I guess you could say Josue is not a big fan.
You could say that. You could,
You are-
could say that.
Actually, surprisingly, Soup's considering going out of Slash Cross. They have the fan, they have the Grab Revenge as well as the area. Oh, I guess it makes sense because they're expecting Dust Cross.
Yeah, and it interrupted the Dust Bowl. That's fun.
Oh, actually, now this bubble wrap is going to be really big because unless they use a chip charge, which... Okay, it does connect.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, he outplayed himself, tried to move up,
yeah.
but Soup just wants to stay there and try to not break all of their own panels, I guess.
So one tip in avoiding Dust Beast out is that you can move to a panel that's already been cracked, and Dust Chip Charge will never hit the same panel twice. So if you've seen a panel they've already cracked, you can freely move to it and avoid risking getting decrossed or getting hit.
That's a good tip. See Golem hit coming out. He will have to move up to the middle row for that to hit.
Ooh, going against Tengu. And Daric. Oh no,
Oh.
the anti-damage.
Anti-damage!
I wonder if that was the chip lockout. I don't fully remember if Golem Hit has chip lockout.
Oh wow, it might.
Oh no. Ah, barely
Oh,
missing.
we just missed the T-Hawk.
This anti-damage could still prove you. Yeah,
Oh!
so
Yeah, you don't want to use a Tengu charge shot to the face when they have an anti-damage up.
yeah, unfortunately, because of how the frame data works on Tengu Charger, or I guess the normal Wind Rack, an opponent having an anti-damage is a confirmed decross against you. So you always have to be careful when that happens. Now Soup has another pretty defensive turn and good offensive as well. They have a number of options, but they are deciding only going with the defense because there goes
Ooh,
that beast
beast up.
over. Starting with an anti-damage help save them against that sanctuary, but we don't know quite what Josue has in store left.
Yeah, interesting to see that Grab Revenge didn't push him back because he was actually in front of the hole.
Was that not because of the anti-damage blocking the hit?
That too.
But now we are going to see the biggest downside of going to Beast Ogre is that very rapid HP drain that Josue is going to suffer. So I believe it's 1 HP per frame, which adds up to being 60 HP per second. So Josue doesn't have a lot of time before going down to 1 HP and having to avoid being deleted.
He's not gonna last more than this custom. So let's see what he gets. I think the white capsule is a great idea to stall out some of that damage time.
Ooh, there is that risky honey, but unfortunately the only counter to the risky honey hive is fire damage.
Bubble Star is gonna get eaten.
And there goes that combo with the white capsule into bamboo sword, followed by a wind drag to finish things off.
That was a close one.
That was very close indeed. If that risky honey had blocked something, then Josue would have been able to survive and potentially win from that risky honey. But unfortunately, the fire was just denying it completely.
Good match. Lots of counter hits, lots of full synchro, lots of decrosses.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the fun parts about just pool party in general. You can see a lot of these things that you wouldn't usually see. Alright, but with that, let's head into setups for our next match of the day, ChinaTV vs Passbyword. So I believe Passbyword is another newcomer, though they have been in the server for a bit. This is the first tournament they've joined.
Well, congrats, welcome. Passbyword definitely got a lot of matches done, so happy to see people are playing a bit. Moving into the setup, so Passbyword, we see the Buster Pack on both people. I don't think I explained it last time, actually. So that sets your attack, charge, and speed all to 3, I believe. So it's, it's efficient in its size. You get, some attack, some charge, some speed. And it helps with the charge shots, the beast outs, but we see both of them running it in Falzar, so interesting choices here. We'll see how much value they get out of those charge shots, out of those beast chip charges.
So Ninja Charles in Twitch is asking, is there a no bug rule for this tournament? And there isn't, but unfortunately the pool determines what chips you have access to. So in most pools there is no access to bug fix, and using bug stop or things like that takes up a lot of space. So people often end up having to try to avoid bugs as much as possible. But there is no rule against it. I believe some people might have used motion bug at this tournament. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, some people did.
Yeah,
for sure. We'll see that later. Yeah, but you kind of want to avoid bugs, especially with low HP, and some people not even running super armor. An HP bug can really probably do more damage than even the health that you get from it. But overall, when you don't have chips like bug fix, when you don't have chips like static in here, you tend to not see too many bug custs. You see a few people that are running Buster Bug that can really help with the anti-damage procs. I think we maybe saw one or two. But anyway, moving into the folders, we see both players have the Corn Fiesta. Passbyword decides to go for the Corn Shot 3. whereas ChinaTV decides to go for the Corn Shot 1. So the big difference here is that you can reg and tag the Corn Shot 1s, whereas you cannot the Corn Shot 3s. But the Corn Fiesta itself is the same party. They both do the same amount of damage. There's no 1, 2, or 3 to that PA itself.
I didn't actually realize both were in this pool. That's interesting.
There's always a Corn Fiesta in this pool. Every pool. Let's see. There's also, a strong G code. We've seen some Bubble Stars. We've seen some Wood Dragons. We've seen the Magnums, and we've seen the Z defensive core here. What's interesting here, you have 2 rolls. So roll 2, you can actually run 2 of them, which is, some pretty good damage, some pretty good health, and really helps people bolster their defenses, especially when they're only running 1300 health.
We also see few S-chip splashes, which I don't think we've seen yet. There is the Bubble Star Rescue Honey, but also the Elect Pulse 3.
Yeah, I really like the Elect Pulse 3 splash in these folders, because we have that bubble wrap that almost everyone's running. It looks like Passbyword actually doesn't have it. And ChinaTV, he does have it in the Q code. I was looking for Z. But that Elect Pulse can do some work against either the Bubble Wrap or the Aqua Cross, or, if they have both up, it will hit really hard. And you also get the HP bug, which is noticeable over the course of time, especially if you land it early.
Yeah, definitely. As mentioned earlier, no one is running bug stock or anything of that sort.
Yeah, there's no way to stop it, really. And looking at China's setup here, we have another reflector. We saw one in the first match, I believe, but it's fun to see another one later on. So we'll see if they opt to not cross out, to stay in base man and try to fish for that counter hit, especially with some strong follow-up chips like Magnum or Bubble Star, or even the Elect Pulse.
So looking at Passbyword's build, so we've mentioned the Corn Fiesta, but they also have another, I didn't really say splash, but they have the 2 Bubble Stars. I guess there is no real splash in this. Everything is a splash. Pool party.
Everything is a splash. It's a pool party. Everything is splashing. He's doing a cannonball into the pool.
That is one way to put it. And that part was actually not intended this time. But yeah, so we see the Bubble Stars with Dragons, Magnum recoveries. So I'd say it's mostly what you might expect from this pool. I don't really think there were any main unusual chips or even Navicosts from Passbyword.
Yeah, and I kind of missed this, but I was looking at Passbyword. He has the 2 win racks. I don't see any win racks with China's folder, so that'll be interesting. He's lucky that Passbyword doesn't have the bubble wrap, but he does have the barrier 200, so I guess he's just gonna have to power through it. And we see China also has shield. I missed that, but definitely probably gonna go for some full synchro shenanigans with reflector and shield.
Alright, with that, let's head into the match and see how they played out. And I don't think we've mentioned this, but ChinaTV does have that custom 5, which can make it very difficult, especially with how many different codes we have. But there is that shield value already blocking that first mag. Very nice.
You know I love a good shield.
Passbyword's playing it safe, just sitting at the back, waiting for the opponent.
How can you not take any chips?
I think one thing we might see from ChinaTV is going into Tengu, because Passbyword doesn't have too many sword chips. That being said, ChinaTV does want to stay in Baseman for that shield value, so it's interesting to see like the decision making of when they decide to cross. We've already seen 2 magnums from Passbyword, so that's a lot of area destruction that's been used already. I think they only have one last one, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and I think he's really, being aggressive with those magnums because China does not have Sanctuary.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
That was a lot of hits as well, and shield gets a lot of value there, just blocking the whole thing.
Love to see shield. Love to see the value of shield in every match.
Yeah, I mean, shield is a lot more realistic and for people to try to use, because we have Tango and that rollback netcode as well, which makes it a lot more doable compared to before.
Just barely getting clipped by that bubble star. And predicting the area grab.
Very nice, being able to get that value out of the grab revenge, following up by their own area grab, or... Okay, just in time for the Senate.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to start thinking about going into T-Hawk here, or maybe not.
I think Tango might be interesting, because they can use the magnums to lock their opponent into one panel and then just go with charge ups.
Yeah, that's... Oh, nope, we're just going defensive. Well, probably for the best.
I think that custom 5 tax, if you want to call it, is really starting to hit ChinaTV with being able to take a single chip per turn. Ooh, distance.
Yeah, we see Passbyword back up to 1300 health using that Recuv 200.
Alright, this is the Magnum's turn. Let's see. Ooh, just not using that as DFC troll. I guess they know there isn't really much coming up from Passbyword.
I think they just wanted to deny the health, right? Who's at full health?
Ah, that's a good buy actually, yeah.
Yeah, using it as a DFC would have let roll heal. Both the rolls coming out. We've also had the Recuv 200, so Passbyword has used up almost all of his healing options here.
Oh, looks like ChinaTV is going for the safe play, just going straight for the Confiesta instead of trying to fish for a counter hit into the next turn.
Yeah, I definitely think
Oh no!
it's the safe play. Oh no. Same place that we saw the one earlier miss.
Yeah, these misses are devastating. Now ChinaTV used up their biggest damage outlet and they are stuck at very low HP now. Risky Honey could potentially help them come back, do a bit of damage, especially against the Falzar Beast Feathers. Because if your opponent isn't careful, they can very easily stack up. But that's not quite enough to bring up almost 1000 HP. Oh no.
No. Honestly, at this point, you almost want to try to fish for the damage judge. He's healed so much.
Ooh, I don't think surviving to damage judge is going to be very easy there.
Ooh. Well, he gets rid of the entire the entire barrier 200 with a single Bs, which was really impressive, but unfortunately the anti-damage lands.
Yeah, anti-damage timing feels tricky because if your opponent is in an animation, they have to wait for the animation to end before it launches. So sometimes you don't expect it to come out as delayed as it does, so you just end up accidentally getting hit by it. Happens way more often than what I'd like to admit, but here we are.
You know what I think is really interesting is, now that we have rollback, we don't see any of these players opting for the auto aim of the Magnum.
That is a good point. Actually, I feel like the timing out of Magnum isn't as useful. I think
it's not. It's definitely not. But we don't see anyone opting for it, which is a nice refresher.
It's fair. It's always funny when, back in my day, we had to live through it.
Back in my day, we let the Magnum time out so that it always hit.
Yeah, and even better when you have like both players having a race man and they both wait for it to time out until like 50% speed. It would take like literally 20 seconds just waiting for them to time out.
But those days are long gone.
Yeah, thanks to all of the amazing work that Winnie has done on Tango.
Anyway, we see China trying to decide how to deal with this Magnum that has devastated their middle row.
Yeah, but there is also the barrier 200 consideration, which will probably cause them to go into the... Ooh, nice!
A lot of value from that reflector. Stopping the anti-damage and stopping a bubble star.
Okay, so ChinaTV decided to go for that beast out. So one of the interesting things is that you can't actually decross yourself unless you get decrossed on purpose. So that could be one of the reasons. One of the reasons ChinaTV is going for Beast Out to try to reset it to standard.
You see a lot of ways, a lot of chips being used for a Tengu chip charge. Actually, kind of using that Buster Pack this time. But giving up 200 health, I mean, he only has 300 to begin with, so I guess it was worth it. A D-Cross with the Elect Pulse 3. We see it coming in clutch. And we see the Corn Fiesta coming out. We really need to get him close up. Maybe the Tengu back B will get him up there. Oh, unfortunately, we see an anti-damage coming out. Oh, and the D-Cross. This is a very difficult turn for China. We saw the strategy here, but unfortunately it didn't work out. We only have defensive chips going into this turn. Really wants something to get rid of that 95 health, though. Oh, another Bubble Star and anti-damage stopped by the Reflector, too. Trying to get these bout charges. Charge really fast, and they're a great way to deal with anti-damage. Didn't quite get it, but there is a Magnum, and we went with 2 anti-damages and a barrier 200. I'm feeling like he's pretty safe here. And the double anti-damage stops the Corn Fiesta. Takes it home for China. Starting round 3, we have a very defensive start. But you know, cycling through 4 of your chips on the first turn when you only have cust 5, even if you only get some of them off, it's a good way to sort through your folder quickly. Ooh, unfortunately, we see the T-Hawk come out, not the Magnum for the counter hit here. TFC. Both players actually having a pretty similar first turn, blocking the entire middle row off and using both their barrier 200s. Opting to deal with the dust charge shots and the Magnum with beasting out so that he gets the air shoes so that he can move around again. Reflector will be interesting. Doesn't work against dust charge cross because it is a breaking element. But the bees do. And Passbyword decides to opt for Tengu instead of beasting out to deal with the holes. Oh, and bring the Proto Man just in case China decided to go Tengu, but unfortunately doesn't get the D-cross there. Really trying to weigh his options here, keeping the Reflect. We're going for some of the Magnums. Difficult choice here. The Reflect still gets a little bit of value. And just using it for a chip charge. Oh, nice movement there. Just barely dodging the Tengu. Dealing with the anti-damage of a Magnum. Again, we see Roll not doing a lot of work, not getting a lot of healing, but does get some damage off. Wonder if we're going to see a chip charge. No, we see the Reflector come out. All right, we see China waiting on that Corn Fiesta PA. He knows he'll have it next turn. Going for more of a defensive turn this time and getting hit by the Bubble Wrap, the Bubble Star, and the Wood Dragon. And these feathers, I mean, they only do 3 damage, but they do add up over time. Go straight for the Corn Fiesta. Don't think they have a anti-damage left, but they do use the Sanctuary. Corn Fiesta is actually a great answer to Sanctuary. We see a lot of hits landed there. Opting to start with the bubble wrap. I think maybe waiting until the end would have been a little better against Tengu. Trying to get rid of that anti-damage. Or the D-cross. Oh, and not quite making it in time. Unfortunately, when they're in the air from the anti-damage, they cannot get hit.
This is looking like a pretty difficult position for ChinaTV. They could try to use the Elec Pulses to pierce invis, so use Blast Man Elec Pulse. But unfortunately, Elec Pulse 3 also applies its own invis. So unless they follow up with a second Elec Pulse, then they wouldn't be able to get much value. Oh no, the white capsule as well!
Oh, the hidden white capsule. You never expect it when it lands.
Yeah, it's always really sneaky because, I mean, if there was something like an Element Man or something like that, Ice, you know the process, you prepare by mashing. But because you don't expect this, you often have to react to it, which makes your mashing just a bit slower, which can make a big difference in these crucial moments as well.
Yeah, good games played to both players.
Alright, with that, let's head into the setups for our next match of the day with Symes vs Josue. So we've seen Josue's build before, we've seen how they want to play. They have a lot of these G-code chips, the Z-code engine you could call it, as well as the Roll and Tengu Maniacs. But if we look at Symes' side, then we can see a lot of new things. I mean, we haven't seen White Blade being used, Assassin Blade. There's a bunch of new chips that we haven't seen so far. What do you think, Shadow?
Yeah, so we see Symes really leaning into the R code. There are a few codes in BN6 that really have a wide range of chips that you'll see again and again in Pool Party, and those are G, R, S, and you see Josue has G and Symes has R. So a lot of those strong generalist chips, but Wide Blade is definitely not one of those generalist chips that you see very often. It's a pretty high damage, but a very short range. I think the real benefit here is using it with Slash Cross and chip charging it. And then unlike Bamboo Sword, which we saw earlier, Wide Blade does get that 50 extra damage.
I don't even know what the base damage for Wide Sword is. Is it 50?
I'm pretty sure it's 150, and the only reason I know is because I watched Symes stream it.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
So we see Symes has attack 4 with these 3+1s, 1300 health, and he's one of the only first person at least that we've seen with float shoes, which is a really interesting tech here. With Magnum, you break the panels, but if you're standing on one of the panels, it will be cracked. And if you are in the middle and they hit you, you still have that one cracked panel to get to the upper and lower rows. So it's definitely an interesting way to play around it. We didn't see any air shoes. We didn't see any warp step, which honestly I thought was the best way to play around Magnum, but again, not a lot of people like playing bugged. And with no bug fix, it's a little bit difficult to play around.
Yeah, I feel like it would be risky to commit yourself to just jumping around the field with warp step and being unable to connect some of your attacks, your charge shots, things like that, just to avoid magnums.
Yeah, but when there's 3 magnums in almost everyone's folder, I don't know.
It's definitely interesting, like seeing the limited space that people can deal with, the decisions they end up deciding to make at the end. That's part of the appeal of full party.
Yeah, for sure. And continuing on Symes' folder, we see Gregar, which has access to that electric cross chip charge. Not the beast charge, just the normal electric cross charge. We see Wave Arm 3, and I believe he has some Vulcans in there as well that he can chip charge. Oh, yeah, at the bottom. And a white capsule. So a lot of potential stuns coming out from Symes. And we also see that Assassin Sword Reg, which I think is a really fun tech for this pool in general.
Yeah, though actually one thing I'm surprised about is how everyone just decided to run 2 Windrags. They could have added the third one. I mean, Windrag is pretty good on its own. It makes me wonder why, just everyone goes with 2.
Yeah, especially with Beast out, Windrag can really rack up some damage with Elect Pulses, or, I think one of the main reasons is we don't have Elect Pulse 1 or 2. We have 3, which doesn't really combo at all with Windrag because it causes flashing. You really need a few things in a row that don't cause flashing for that Beast Rush kind of tactic to work.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that we don't have Elect Pulse 2. I think it would have been very dominated in this pool. Though that being said, just Windrag alone can still take the sail out of people's wind. So you never know.
For sure. And we see a single Burn Square 3, which is a fun way to just check T-Hawk. And a chip that we don't always see, but that combos really well with some of these defensive chips with Sanctuary, Bubble Wrap, and Grab Revenge.
So non-Newtonian Liquid in Twitch is asking how many Elect chips are in the pool. And I do know that Elect Pulse 3 is in, which we've just mentioned. But I'm not sure what else. Do you remember what it had?
I believe that was it. Just Elect Pulse 3 to deal with, these Bubble Wraps and Spout Cross. You see a lot of Spout Cross with the Bubble Star 3s. There's not a lot of ways to counter it other than that, and going Elect Cross and Gregar, which is always a strong counter. So
yeah, and as you mentioned, both versions have their own inherent ways of dealing with the Bubble Wrap, Elect Cross and Tangle. So there's always that to keep in mind as well.
Definitely.
Alright, with that, I believe we can head into the match and see how it plays out. So another interesting choice that we've seen from Symes, which I don't think we've quite mentioned, is the candle thing. I forgot what it's called.
What?
The candle chip?
Burn
Square.
The Burn Square.
Yeah.
So Burn Square, you don't see it often, so that's why even a very well-versed player like Zero maybe forgets its name every once in a while. See it on this first turn. It's kind of like Magnum. You get to choose where it lands. It hits in a 4x4, and it doesn't do the best damage.
Yeah,
but ooh. Oh, that was really smart. Getting the second hit off the volcano panel, which doesn't actually do fire damage.
yeah. So this also highlights the other important thing, that I think Symes is the first person we've seen so far without super armor.
True. Yeah, true. There's a few people who didn't run super armor, and it's always an interesting thing, interesting balance in pool party specifically, because super armor's sometimes difficult to fit into your Navi coast.
Now Symes is at -2 area, which can make it very difficult for him to move around, especially when he's unfortunately giving Josue all of these holy panels for free. Machine gun coming out, followed by the wood drain. Now Symes loses his own holy panel, so he's just stuck taking all of that damage.
Oh, and just barely missing the iframes of the charge, and just not having enough time to get his chips out.
Yeah, this is starting to look very rough for Symes so far, but don't forget, I mean, I think even more than standard format, you can just expect the unexpected here.
Yeah, you know, I don't think that either of these players had PAs, but even without a huge swing of a Fiesta here and there, it's definitely easy to, just have a huge turn with all of these defensive chips like in Vis that you don't necessarily see every time.
And looks like Symes is going one of these big turns. Actually, I wonder if we're going to see very fun play with Bubble and Twin Drag, and if that connects in the right sequence, you might be able to get multiple hits out of that Bubble. See if Symes is able to go for it. Oh, say. And then the counter is. Oh no!
Oof, ×2 Vulcan 3 in Beast Out. That was a lot of damage. We see Josue just nailing those counter hits again and again, and really taking advantage of it.
I think that was pretty much Super Vulcan in terms of damage.
Yeah, wow. Super Vulcan of Pool Party.
Yeah. Symes able to regain some of his area back, but this is still looking very rough for him, having to come back through all of that HP, and now the barrier 200 gets dropped for Josue as well.
Luckily, it doesn't look like Josue has a way to decross elect this turn, but probably wants to get out, yeah.
I'm not sure how much HP the barrier 200 has, because for the Grab Revenge to push away Josue, that needs to break, which would just barely. Okay, so now this is still a very difficult position for Symes, but he is able to land all of these charge shots. Then he can very quickly form his own comeback.
And really good patience here, waiting to use that area grab until after the Grab Revenge.
Well, this might actually be a difficult turn for Josue because they decide to go into Tengu. Oh, okay, no, going for Spout instead, playing it a bit safer, but that will mean they get locked up by this Magnum, so they might not be able to retaliate with their own damage as easily.
See the Sanctuary answer that problem. And we see, so we see Symes just kind of sitting on his defense here, waiting maybe for a win rack so that he can use that barrier 200.
Yeah, I think this is probably the correct play from Symes. Isn't able to risk it, to wait for this. But fortunately now Josue has access to a holy panel, which I guess Corn Shot 3 can make quick work of. Symes still
Definitely.
has... Yeah, so Symes has very low HP. He's trying to claw his way back into the game, but it's going to be very difficult, and that Wind Drag deals with the anti-damage. Wood Dragon coming down, denying that corn shot. And that miss as well. Oh no, this is looking very bad for Symes.
We only have one chip left. I mean, he has a lot of area, but I don't know if it's 850 damage worth of area.
Yeah, and unfortunately the area might be expiring soon as well, because it's been a few turns since that went up. Oh, and I guess that is the game.
That's it.
Yeah.
Going for the erase for a little bit more damage on the Magnum, but unfortunately, Roll had other ideas.
Yeah, very difficult match for Symes, starting out with that. And then we have again these volcano panels, which, okay, so Symes does have a way to deal with them by using the bubble. But if he didn't, then it could have been very annoying source of damage that Symes would have to deal with, because he doesn't have super armor, so they would instant.
Yeah. Damage and interruption.
But area grab coming down. Let's see if that confirms the bubble. It does into. Nice. Pretty big combo.
Huge first turn. And we see some fun play here with the float shoes not cracking those tank cannon panels. It was only like 10 frames, guys, in case you missed it.
Yeah, I think Symes just stepped on them to flex that he has these float shoes. Ooh, dust coming out. Symes going into slash. This might be a bit risky for Symes if he needs D-cross here. Ooh, but a counter hit. This will give
being at the
anger.
bottom and waiting it out so that he gets anger.
Ooh, last man times 2. Unfortunately, outside of these grass pumps, that would have been pretty devastating.
Oh, and it looks like that might have even been white pill. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think this is just the flinch from...
Just the animation.
Yeah. Because I feel like there would have been that yellow outline we haven't seen. Ooh, Josue deciding to go with Spoutman to continuously interrupt the Slashman chargers, because Spout has the fastest charge shot. Can, in theory, do quite a bit of interrupt. Very nice from Josue, maintaining that plus area, maintaining that forward move to deny the plus area from Symes. Now Symes used up all of his area grab. Yeah, that does explain why Symes is going into the race. So I wonder why he's deciding against the leg. Yes, there are these wood dragons and other risky honeys and things that scare off the life. The race is pretty good.
I think he's just going for that plus 30 on Magnum.
Ooh, nice. Catching the charge shots and then flinching at the very end.
And we see these players have almost the exact health.
Oh yeah, only 10 HP difference. Oh, now we do see the Elec cross coming out. Let's see if Symes gets punished. He's probably going to try to chip charge the wave arm to apply paralysis into it. Oh no.
Oh wow. That should hit.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh wow.
never mind.
Well, we see Symes dodged almost everything.
Yeah. This game's going much better for Symes. I guess taking a plus 30 times 2 Vulcan is a lot of damage.
Definitely. I see the single horn shot.
Yeah. Symes going into Beast Out as well, so he's probably looking to go with the Wind Rack and then finish off the game with that horn shot. Let's see if he's able to do it. Oh, there he goes.
Oh!
Hearing
Not quite
that,
as much of a party.
hearing that cup sound coming out. It's actually really satisfying sound. It's pretty fun in mud cards where people can run charge shot, con, and charge shot, con shot.
Went into game 3. Looks like Symes is not opting for a cross at the start here. Just kind of doing a defensive turn, scouting it out. Good bubble wrap to stop the Proto Man, and seeing some value here with the float shoes.
Ooh. Yeah, these poison panels.
Unfortunately, just getting barely clipped by that wood dragon, but we've seen Josue almost take 100 damage from these poison panels.
Yeah, poison can add up fairly quickly, and especially when the only way for Josue to deal with these panels is using Sanctuary, or I guess for Symes to break these panels.
Yeah, we'll probably see Symes try to not do too much with these panels. Get the most value out of them that he can.
Okay, Brawl coming down, doing some damage, bringing some recovery. Not too bad. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Tengu getting a lot of play in this pool. Even though it's an EX Navi and stuck in T-code, there's not a lot of chips in T-code, but we do see its value here, especially against Gregar Erase Crosses and Barrier 200s and Bubble Wraps.
Well, it looks like now that Symes has seen that Tengu, he is going into the Erase Cross, going for potentially a machine gun play, followed up by the Assassin, trying to get in good damage as well. Ooh, and we do see that Sanctuary, which will half all of that damage, unfortunately, for Symes.
That ominous single power wave, what's it called? Wave arm.
See, I'm not the only one who forgets chip names.
Yeah, sure. But
so now Symes has his own Sanctuary, but unfortunately his Sanctuary is going to be much more limited, and we see Josue going for that Tengu lock. But Symes has
yeah, using it right when he got to the charge shot, really trying to catch him, and now he's going to get it off the auto anti-damage. So really good play from both players to try to deal with that Tengu cross and try to preserve it as well.
Going into Dust Cross this time, so Josue is probably going to be looking to break some of these panels.
How did he dodge that corn shot? That was no fair.
Yeah, unfortunately without uninstall or some way of moving super armor puncher, and he easily walked out.
And we see 3 magnums, but unfortunately it's going to be difficult to break through that barrier 200.
Yeah, I think Symes wants to land in at least one charge shot and then using them. Oh, no, never mind. I guess Grab Revenge would break it, I think, on the last hit. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and he had a little bit of damage on it, so... Oh, almost dodging that whole machine gun.
Josue stepping back into the safety of these holy panels. Unfortunately, that means Symes is able to freely move around and trying to go for that counter hit, but barely missing it.
Let's see how many magnums we get this turn. I'd say 2.
Yeah.
But maybe 3. Oh,
Risky
no.
Honey is going to block some of it. But yeah, so Symes can just use that to break panels instead. And then go for the Necross with the second one, which will bring Josue down to less than 140, which could mean this Windrak closes things off.
Getting hit with the Blast Man. I think this could be anyone's game at this moment.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
roll 2 coming down, giving a bit of recovery, but unfortunately Symes went into that Electros, which would break panels with his chip charge. Oh no!
Oh no.
Okay.
He pulls it out.
Buster shots were just enough to finish the game. Yeah, well played to both sides. We saw that I wouldn't say very one-sided, but a very difficult game won for Symes. Then being able to bring it back, get the comeback for games 2 and 3, and finish the game off. Well played.
Yeah, both players well played.
All right, and before we head into our next match, we are going to take a short 10-minute break. So if you haven't already, you can use that time to rehydrate, take a walk around, and we'll be back with more action soon. So, you know how we mentioned earlier in the stream how 1800 was pretty much the highest you can reasonably get. Marvino didn't like that and decided to one-up us.
You know how we also mentioned that there was a really nice symmetry between one of those other previous ones, Josue's Navicust. Well, we see even more symmetry here and even more health here. Marvino really pushing the limits of what 5x5 can look like. And, you know, let's see if it works out for him. 2,000 health in a format like this is a lot of health. And Reflector is a pretty fun Navicust piece. We've seen Shield already block a Corn Fiesta earlier. Let's see what Reflect can do for Marvino.
So yeah, I mean, outside of the Reflector in the Navicust, Marvino also decided to run 2 Reflector 2 as well as the 3 Risky Honey. So he's going all in, trying to fake the opponent out, trying to fish counter hits, or maybe getting 350 damage every here and there.
Yeah, and you know he really thought about it because it is in an S code. It's completely splashed. So he said, you know what? I am going for defensive shields, and there's also the Reflector. Yeah, he's ready.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Marvino's folder's the neatest one with only has like T code, Z, the 1S. Everyone else is just like a mix of letters all over the place.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting? We don't see Magnum, so you know, that's probably what kept it tight. We do see Fireburn too, which I don't think we've seen yet. You know, it's a great chip, good damage, fire. He's in Gregar, might go heat, probably won't because he has Reflect, but he can get that 2 times off the Wood Dragons or the Boomers, and then it also leaves cracked panels, which we don't see a lot of people having much defense about using float shoes. Just Symes so far.
Yeah, actually, now that you bring up, I'm surprised we haven't seen more Fireband too. Because we've seen a bunch of people using T-code here and there. But yeah, it's pretty good.
I know. I I think that was my biggest surprise here. It was only a few people ran Fireburn 2s. And, we looked at China's setup before, but just to recap, we have that Buster stats on Falzer, we have Corn Fiesta, we have the Magnums, that Stray Elect Pulse 3, just solid Buster and PA folder. But, both players have those 2 Reflector 2s, so let's see if we get into a Reflector match here.
Yeah, I mean, ChinaTV does have that shield as well, so Reflector and shield fighting against each other. Alright, with that, let's hit the match. Let's go. We already see these volcano panels, which we've seen, I believe, Josue do that before, but you can use volcano panels to proc Reflector, Bees, or to reflect Navicast as well. Especially with that 2000, it's that huge 2000 HP that Marvino has. You wouldn't mind taking a hit or 2 to deal damage instead. The instant Magnum out from ChinaTV, though getting double hit by that boomer.
Double boomer.
I feel like that's actually fairly common. It feels like it happens way more than we should. It's people getting hit.
It is a guillotine. And also something to note is Marvino does not have super armor, so he will get a lot of hits if he gets hit by those machine guns or other chips that hit a couple times.
I don't think ChinaTV is running.
I know, I just looked. He doesn't.
Unfortunate. Yes, there is the Risky Honey, where if one connects, that means the other is good. But yeah, Risky Honey or Risky Honey, if I see that play. I'm actually fairly surprised Marvino didn't decide to go for the volcano panels first. I feel like he tends to like these spicier type of plays.
There's still time.
There is indeed still time. ChinaTV already lost about 500 HP. It's actually surprising. Does it feel like Marvino did a lot? Ooh, nice.
There's a reflector hit.
And unfortunately, okay, now they all go. What I was going to say is that Marvino was standing on a volcano panel when he got hit by that bubble charge shock, which was one of them.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a interaction here that I think should be discussed, is that, if you use the bubble wrap, you use the barrier 200, that reflect just isn't really getting as much value because it hits the barrier before it hits the shield.
Yeah, I feel like there was some sort of interaction between them, but yeah, I'm quite sure. Sounds right. Sounds like it should hit the barrier first. Ooh, nice track, positioning, and looks like ChinaTV is just going for the immediate magnet position instead of trying to lock down Marvino. Now they get locked down themselves.
Yeah, Marvino's hand really benefiting from those star code chips, not having to worry too much about the cust 5. He has a very fluid folder here, which we haven't seen too much.
Mango cross coming out and deal with that bubble as well as allowing free movement. So, whiskey honey, nice. That felt like close, but
almost dodging that wood dragon. And you know, last turn he had a really fluid hand. This turn he's kind of stuck. Doesn't want to use the barrier 200 against Tengu, or maybe he does.
I feel like I'd go anti-damage into the T-chips.
Yeah, I feel like starting with an anti-damage, especially because we haven't seen Corn Fiesta come out yet. I would go for the anti-damage myself.
So that's why he might be considering the barrier 200, maybe mashing that first and then... Oh!
Ooh!
That block.
You know, we saw the shield, we saw the reflect.
That was amazing.
I think we know who wins these days.
ChinaTV missing these B-back inputs, that barrier 200 surviving for way more than what I should have.
I think I'd be a little rattled if I got my Corn Fiesta reflected.
I mean, to be fair, ChinaTV did do that to someone earlier in the stream, so it's only fair.
That's true.
Ooh, that combo as well coming out from Marvino.
Wow. A really good undershirt there as well. Just barely able to hang on with that 200 recovery.
Marvino still has plenty of chips to go through, and the HP gap is so big. It's going to be very difficult for ChinaTV to come back, especially after losing out on their Fiesta.
Yeah, ChinaTV does have some buster stats. I'm not sure how useful they're going to be at this moment. But the Gregar P shots at 1 damage is not the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Tengu Beast is coming out. I wonder if we'll see Tengu chip targets. Oh no!
Oh no.
Unfortunate match for ChinaTV, just not being able to go through all of that HP that Marvino has, and obviously that reflector being very huge for Marvino. I wonder how well an anti-magic or anti-damage Ravicast would do.
I thought about it. I really wanted to do it.
Ooh.
I really did. Oh no! Let the Magnum hit.
Yeah, I think that DFC was a bit too quick. Didn't really tell that he blocked it. Oh, and now the counter block. Okay, I see how it is.
No one takes any damage these days. Oh, both players stepping into the volcano panels. Looks like Marvino's going to have to get rid of those volcano panels with all these T-code grass chips.
I believe that will keep, yeah, so they keep his own volcano plant, which I guess still opens up the opportunity for his plant. Nice. Oh,
that'll work.
I think that might block 1 or 2 of the hits, but some might still land. And don't forget, the reflector could fire off more bees as well. Oh, right.
Oh no.
Corn Fiesta.
Oh. Decent damage.
Feels like that was a bit on the unlucky side. I've seen Corn Fiesta do way more damage.
I think that was a little bit unlucky, yeah.
Maybe I should have joined this side. It seems like there's a lot of fun stuff going on. Corn Fiesta, both luck here and there, never know.
Yeah, a little bit of bullying from both sides. You should have joined.
Ooh, getting...
Oh,
Yeah,
that was a lot of damage. Even from Risky Honey 1. Oh, nice dodge on the Bubble Star, but did barely get clipped. That would have been a lot more damage if he was bubbled.
Fortunately, the first Sonic Pulse was on the Bubble Wrap as well, so that did do double damage. Now Marvino has the HP bug, which I don't think that scales with flinching. I think it's only from the HP bug you get in the navigators.
Well, I think that Marvino doesn't have super armor, so I think it might start adding up.
I thought it only adds up from the Navi. That was the initial source. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
It starts ticking down real fast. Oh no!
Fortunately, if Symes with that power up to one hit, still taking another. ChinaTV is being wary of firing their buster shots because we saw that already. These Risky Honey can really punish a Beast Buster. This game's a bit more even. There are about 100 HP difference between them.
Just, impressive to say when someone started at 2,000 health.
Yes, Confiesta landing does make quite a bit of difference. Ooh, that Magnum as well, dealing with an anti-damage. Oh no!
Oh.
Double damage from that fast man. Ooh, nice. Being patient.
Playing the shield game. Really, considering this Sanctuary, I don't know if I'd give up an area grab's worth of Sanctuary to China. I feel like that might be my demise.
Yeah, it does feel quite risky. I think I might go with Bees because that's the only S chip he has. He can draw into more T-coded stuff, but this is the only risky he has left.
Oh, really trying to make that decision.
Ooh,
and it pays off.
Oh, nice. The Proto
Man getting hit by his own shield.
Now Sanctuary coming down into the grabber vein, wasting an area grab from ChinaTV. Very nice read.
What a turn. Completely.
Okay. Marvino has a bit of a better hand, I'd say. He can take a number of things with Risky Honey. He has the Sanctuary down, so he's doing well. Dust Cross coming out.
Oh, nice. And an immediate answer with an immediate answer.
And unfortunately, Dust Cross has breaking charge up, which means that this Reflector wouldn't be able to do anything against. Yeah, so now Marvino unfortunately has to throw away that Reflector game plan, just go for a race, probably erase Beast into the next stand.
I don't know. I would keep Reflect. That's just me.
I mean, Reflect would suffer against Dust Cross. Is locking you in place, which means you guaranteed to eat that Dust Charger, then your panels start breaking, you can't really up. Okay.
And immediately out of Dust. Getting rid of all those panels.
Yeah, ChinaTV did see that they have a Magnum, So maybe they decide to use that, and now we'll see the reflector coming into. Oh, never mind. I guess it still did something.
Oh wow! And you know, reflector lasts so much longer than you think it does.
Yeah.
We're almost tied up on HP, just barely getting that back panel in time to sidestep the Tengu charge shot. In China, he has Buster stats. This isn't a wimpy Tengu attack.
But now Marvino decides to go with the Erase Beast, carrying off that Tengu. Let's see if he's able. Fortunately, Erase is very unlikely to land,
no.
just as I was saying it.
With no chips left. Oh wow.
Does ChinaTV have any recoveries? No, so it's the Beast overturn. Let's see if Marvino is able to survive. Depends on what ChinaTV has. Very nice dodging from Marvino.
It's like China might be out of chips.
And now let's see,
And
does Marvino go
Beast
for his...
out.
Okay, there he goes. Let's see. Ah. So fun fact, Beast over Buster. I mean, you could see Marvino doing it, but there is a set pattern to them, or most of the time there is a set pattern to them. Sometimes there isn't. But I've seen people dodge a complete slow gauge turn even of Beast over just without taking it.
There's definitely a pattern. It's pretty hard for Gregor.
I feel like it's worse for avoiding Falzar, especially if you're negative on area, because the Falzar Beast can just decide to step forward and get a confirmed hit. Whereas with Gregor, you can always have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, well played to both sides. Very close game, and we see with that thumbnail the magnificent block on that card. Yes, thank you. And with that, let's head to setups for our next match of the day with Master S1X. Yes, I'm not sure if people have noticed, but Soren did edit the transitions for this format, specifically for format. So if you haven't, make sure to keep an eye out during the next transition. So looking, I believe we haven't seen both players. I think this might be Ah's first tournament.
I mean, that sounds right to me.
But they have a pretty spicy Navicus. You see that double folder pack one.
I know. I needed to see this Navicus myself. I love folder pack.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite Navicus that I run, and seeing two of them just side by side like this is beautiful. Beautiful.
It's actually pretty interesting, because just thinking about wanting, if you want to run that in bug stuff, like for standard BN, it does seem somewhat nice.
Definitely.
That being said, this is forcing Gat to run no, I guess HP plus 50, but that is the only HP they have. And they have no recovery, so they will be stuck with the HP they have. And it is very risky.
Yeah, this is going to be an all or nothing. Doesn't even really have that much defense compared to the rest of the players we've seen so far. Just the anti-damage and the barrier 200. No sanctuary. Does have grab revenge, so a way to stop Gregor in case it shows up. And then, you know, an iconic 7 Navis.
Yeah.
almost a third of his folder there.
That's actually crazy. You're running so many Navis, you're pretty much guaranteed to get one 10-1. So it's custom 7 is, I'd say, above average as well.
Oh, it is, you know, at the top, really. And, you know, a couple interesting Chipson, AHT, Bats folder, Aqua Needle 2. I don't think we've seen that yet, but it is, it's a strong chip. I think it's 60 damage that hits 3 times. And if you charge it with Aqua, which Feltzer has, it can be 2 times, but you have to use a white capsule. So that's the only thing about it. But definitely an interesting tech to check Charge Cross and Heat Cross in Gregar folders.
Yeah, speaking of Gregar folders, so looking at Master S1X's, well, starting with the Navicast, they are running the interesting Tango in the Navicast. I believe this is the first one we've seen instead.
It is the first one I've seen. It's not the last, but it is the first. And I love Tango in this format because, you end up with, if you just count the squares, you end up with the same amount of squares as an HP 300. And Tango heals you for 300, and it also gives you a 100 HP barrier when you're below 25% health. So we'll see it proc, I'm sure. But it is a little risky because you have no HP plus here.
You might be surprised. Why would Master S1X run Rush? That's not even... Invis isn't even one of the chips in the pool. To answer that is they didn't realize it. Basically, they're saying in the quick chat, they didn't realize there was no Invis. Just found the space with Rush.
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone attack max, but they would have ended up with a attack bug, which maybe they wouldn't have wanted. So there's not a lot of great things to have put there, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like attack a Buster Bug level 1 would be alright. Yeah, it's difficult to say. They do have color bug though, which happens when you have more than 4 colors. It gives you a random status at the beginning of each.
Moving into their folder. We have not seen this yet. There were black bombs in the pool. Really fun chip, lots of damage, 250 fire damage, can get doubled on grass panels, hits their whole row, it hits their whole area. Well, let's see if those lands. I'm sure he's going Gregar for that Heat Cross.
Sure, it would be quite the rush when they land.
Hey, too bad Rush isn't going to be here.
Yeah,
Rush is off of his bone somewhere.
But yeah, it would be interesting to see the different plays they have access to.
So both players have very low HP. It'll make those black bombs very strong if they land.
And we are starting on that grass field as well, which will allow it to do double damage. That's potential, isn't it? 5 in Heat Cross, because that adds plus 50 as well on top, right?
Is it? Or is it a obstacle? No, it's fair, yeah.
Yeah. So that would be
50.
600 damage.
600.
What looks like ads prepare and they just go for Spout Cross, wanting to counter. Ooh, but they get counted. Let's see if that charge up goes through, and it does.
Oh. Now that was almost that was 700 damage right at the start.
But now Master S1X is locked into that single panel getting decrossed, so that will make it more difficult to proc these remaining black ones. This is actually such an explosive start for both players. Down to 330 HP after one turn, and now Master S1X is going with that Z-Put combo with the whole thing as well. Ooh, the times 2 boomer coming out. Oh, nice. Power up, blocking the ×2 blast man. And another boomer ×2 does connect, but recovery will lessen that damage.
Wow, and we see both players just very low on health already. Trying to decide between going for more of a defensive turn or an offensive turn here.
This turn is a mix of both, taking the barrier to 100, but also some damage. Blast? Is that blast?
Oh, and we see beat. So not only does AHT have 2 extra navies, they want to take away a navi from the opponent.
Imagine if we could run anti-navi misses. Oh, and the double head followed by a wind rack.
Mango comes out to give some support. Let's see if it's enough to hold them off.
Yeah, this is looking scary for us. Their HP being so low. In a single turn, everything can change. Going to Tengu, trying to deal with that barrier. Nice. Good dragon to that. Oh no! So I think the order. Yeah.
Yeah, no, blocking the T-Hawk with anti-damage keeps him alive. Like you said, the order was a little bit weird with the Wood Dragon getting it down to 1 on 1 health. The Wood Dragon getting the White Capsule instead of the Aqua Needle. Going to Beast out.
Oh no, this is scary. So Beast over is going to be Master S1X's only chance of survival, but doesn't have any more defense, so they have to dodge somehow all of that damage coming out from Master S1X.
Can't paralyze the Beast over, so let's see what happens.
Magnum actually is a very good option.
This is good. Oh no.
Never mind. Daric grab coming down. There is that wind drag that will probably catch. Yeah.
Oh no. That was like a frame by frame. Every time you moved it, did a new chip.
Very close for that was slightly different order, but they could have potentially survived that turn and maybe went into their own beast over next turn and got that game.
Yeah, it really came down to the order of that Magnum and that Sanctuary.
Very nice step forward, denying the full area grab. Unfortunately, the wind drag will take care of first barrier, but oh,
really nice D-Cross, a nice TFC to stop that double damage from Blast Man, giving up a couple Sanctuary panels to the opponent. Let's see if that... Oh, and taking it away with a Boomer.
that Sanctuary was actually so much value. I mean, we sometimes see that in Standard where it's Blast Man SP, so it's even bigger value. But in here, it changed from double damage to half damage. That's like 4 times the difference.
And now they're all gone.
There is that time. Okay, there it goes.
And you know, that was actually kind of tricky. I didn't see if he put a white capsule on it, but you actually need to make sure that the burn square fire doesn't hit the opponent, as if you're trying to also hit the bomb.
Take 2 hits Oh no, unfortunately not getting any of the kunais for Master S1X. Ooh. Ooh, the double black bombs saying ooh as well.
Hey, if you throw two of them, one of them's gonna land.
Actually, you can't throw one on top of the other, right?
No.
Imagine if that worked. You throw one to detonate the other. That would be so. Oh, wait. Oh, the boomer backswing.
Boomer hit it.
Yeah.
Boomer hit it.
Ooh, is that going to be enough to destroy it? Might be.
I think so.
Yeah.
Not
What?
quite. It must have 100 health, yeah, and Tengu does 90.
So,
Just barely.
yeah, but what I think happens is that the charge shot is the thing that actually end up hitting instead of black. Because the charge shot hits, applies flashing.
The charge shot, yeah, the charge hit. It's really difficult to play. He's gotten a couple off, but man, it's hard.
I think what you might want to do is go into charge cross, because if they try to body block you breaking it, then they have to take your damage and the black bomb stays. Or if they don't want to body block you, then they still take the damage.
Little TFC chain here, but ended up with a anti-damage, but that's it.
That is game. That was actually very close. Master S1X was almost able to bring it back. Start with conveyor field, which are always interesting.
We do have a lot of Tomahawk mans, so a few ways to deal with conveyor panels.
There's these boomer chips as well. Yeah. So I go with that Tengu immediately to remove that first barrier, so they might have a play going on, which was nice. Oh wow, that's actually pretty good. I don't know if it's worth it, but
it was really interesting. Did he get hit twice by that wood dragon?
Oh, I didn't notice. I guess it was possible, but
he took a lot of damage. I mean, he's got these recovers 200, so
someone in chat just do a clip and take a look. I'm not sure. That was double hit. That was
nice D-cross.
Oh no. So you might be wondering, why did that tango take a bit to activate? The reason for that is it doesn't activate unless you regain control of Mega Man. So if you're paralyzed in the middle of like beast jump or some machine gun animation, something like that, then it wouldn't activate it then. It can be very risky.
Yeah, we see it getting a lot of value here for Master, but you know, especially if things like roll in the back, sometimes you just end up getting multi-hit too many times before it has a chance to proc.
Yeah, or
the white capsules, yeah.
Yeah, even Corn Fiesta, which this time isn't running, but a lot of people were using that.
Oh, is he gonna cross? Yeah, keep that anti-damage. So if you cross before your anti-damage procs, especially in something that has a long animation like a race charge, you can save your anti-damage and get a second value out of it.
So basically buffering your anti-damage to the next turn. By crossing, you keep it. Very nice. Ooh, ended up getting it anyway.
Oh wow, he got it off before the boomer.
Going for the third time bomb, for the third black bomb as well.
I know, I really wanted to play black bombs, I just didn't do it. Oh, going into T-Hawk, that seems like a bad idea.
Ouch. I mean, I think we would have done almost all of their HP anyway, but getting decrossed on top of it. Oh! Okay.
Didn't even see the boomer coming.
That was an interesting end. Yeah, I'm not actually quite sure what happened at the end there, because I think an anti-damage finished off the game, but yeah. Master S1X in Twitch chat is saying, did double head that Wood Dragon as mentioned. That was a nice guy.
Oh, yeah, it had a white capsule. That's what caught my eye. I was like, wow, I think that hit twice, but I think he moved. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It somehow hit but didn't paralyze him.
Alright, let's head to setups for our next match of the day with Symes vs Master. This is Master who is different to Master S1X for difference. Okay, we've seen Symes play already. Now, do you want to take us through Master's build?
Yeah, so we have someone that is running more on the S code side of things. We've seen some risky honeys with Marvino. We've seen some elect pulses. We've seen a lot of bubble star 3s. And we haven't seen too many bamboo swords yet, but we saw a few earlier, and now we have 3 of them. So definitely going to lean into that T-Hawk or Fautzer Beast Out bamboo sword play. We also have Sandworm 3, which I don't think anyone else has played yet. Does a decent amount of damage. I believe it's 180, and does benefit from the 30 damage Beast Out damage buff to neutral chips. Also can be charged by Gregar, but we're Fautzer, so we're not thinking about that. Just a very fluid folder off Master. As custom 3, he's going to have exactly what he wants when he wants it, at the expense of health. So he only has 1200 health, but he'll be able to get what he wants, get some combos off, flow through his folder, and hopefully be able to take out his opponent, who only has 1300 health as well, pretty quickly.
This is another, call it neat folder. It's just everything is nicely split into codes and looks like it could be very much standard folder. It has a lot of good things, just generally good folder.
Definitely, and I think we're going to see a lot of value from these float shoes here, because Fireburn 2 causes those cracked panels, but it doesn't cause holes, unlike Magnum. So we'll see how that works out with Symes' float shoes.
Oh yeah, Symes might finally get some benefit out of his float shoes. I think if you use Fireburn into a Fireburn, that will actually break panels instead of just keeping them cracked.
Yep.
Because there is the Elect Dragon, which Elect Dragon cracks panels but doesn't actually break. So if you use like 2 Elect Dragons into each other, the panels will stay cracked instead of break. Which is, I think, might be the only thing that does that.
The lovely inconsistencies of Battle Network.
That's part of the fun. Yeah. Alright, let's head into the match and see how it plays out. So this is a very interesting start. We have these Guardian builds. I think that's the first time we've seen them in the stream.
Yeah, I think so. And on grass panels, no less. This is Blast Man's worst nightmare.
Both players have a pretty decent way of dealing with these Guardians. So we might see Master just going immediately into Dust Cross, which was the risk of Death Cross. Or Symes going into Charge Cross and doing a charge tackle safely to deal with it.
Yeah, let's see if he opts for that Machine Gun 1.
be the safe play to do, but if Master decides to step back, then that machine gun 1 can backfire on Symes because that Guardian to activate get hit for free. Ooh, the assist sword can be a free hit because it's starting on grass panels. Okay, so Symes is going for power up as well. That is very risky in terms of activating that Guardian. Let's see if he gets hit by it. Very nice patient play, but ooh, counter it!
Oh no!
That was pretty explosive turn 1, both sides losing quite a bit of HP, and we are seeing a counter it. I think, did Symes end up getting an anger from, because it feels like that bubble did more than what should have.
You know what? I think I missed it, but I think it was 2 times.
Yeah, I think the anger was there for like a split second, and then just got used.
I think I heard the noise. I didn't see it though.
Oh, now unfortunately, oh no, the Guardian pierces Invis as well, so that will be a free hit. Last man coming down doing 240 damage for free. The lack of super armors punishing Symes. Going straight into beast for this turn. Not quite sure why, to be honest, because charge beasts chip charges aren't very reliable. So, but if he does get decrossed, then he has to face beast's chip charges.
Yeah, Salad in chat saying, hey, it's for super armor. And you know what? I think she's right. Oh, unfortunately missing that.
Ooh, both sides missing their big hits this turn, just everything missing.
The whole turn.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of misses. Everyone feeling the pressure here.
Yeah, someone did mention super armor for that beast out, but I mean, if he's going to lose that on his charge shots anyway, I don't think it's going to really matter in that position. I don't know. Guess he was worried about being chained into his life. Getting hit and
ooh, we're seeing the wood dragon. He has time to dodge it.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh. And we saw that Master also dodged that electric breath. That was very close. If Symes had released it a few frames earlier, then he would have caught him on that beast jump. Got probably a double hit.
Yeah, and Symes being really patient, waiting for that hole to come back so that he can hit Aquacross with that sword, wide blade.
Very grappling down. Symes will retaliate with his own. He does have, oh no, getting clipped by the machine gun.
Oh man, 5 health apart.
Who's chip charging that Vulcan instead of going for the head, which does make sense. Oh no.
Woo.
That's scary. I think that was actually
Definitely.
a few frames off. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely saving the revenge for Chip 2. Trying to fish for that TFC, I think.
Ooh, risky honey.
Oh.
That's probably the worst outcome for Symes unless he can dodge it. It does dodge it.
Oh
but
no.
another hive will be coming out. It's the Elec Pulse, which did give flashing. And the Blast Man will finish it off.
This is it. Oh, all those poor bees. Save the bees.
Yeah, that was such a crazy sequence. Now starting with an ice field again, so Symes getting pretty good starts with these elemental panels and just being able to go for the assessor, though it did backfire last time with getting free counter hit, so we'll see if it does here as well. And followed up by the Elk Pulse. Unfortunately, that wasn't a bubble because of the counter hit. That was really funny.
And, you know, Symes gets angry. He uses a wind rack. It's on the first row. And he gets these neutral chips that he gets to charge.
Oh, that's good match. There is that Permahole, which fortunately could make the wave up slightly more difficult to use, but this isn't the worst position for Permaholes to be in. Some recovery, regaining of HP. Ooh,
Oh, wow.
that Wood Dragon miss, very unfortunate.
Double hit from Tingu. I feel like Symes has dodged a lot of Wood Dragons this match. And we are seeing that value from Float Shoes here.
Yeah, it's actually been pretty nice. Ice panels are usually the bane of Gregor. They're very difficult to navigate around, but Float Shoes can play around that. And Bamboo Sword is probably going to be avoided since Symes is here. And
Ooh.
another bubble miss.
You know, we talked about the wind rack combos, but there's really some good bubble combos and some bamboo sword combos here for beast rushing. Unfortunately, we see the Aqua Spiral Curse coming out again in Pool Party.
Yeah, just execute Skull here. Unfortunately, Masters activated the curse and there's nothing more we can do. Ooh, seeing that machine gun's really big as well. Now Symes is able to avoid most of it. Master on Twitch is saying someone had to, and yeah, I guess so. Fortunately, it had to be you.
Some fire at the top, some grass at the bottom, neither connecting. Let's see, there's 3 magnums.
Yeah.
I'll just take all 3.
I think
Just
this
do it.
It's going to be very difficult for Master to stop. I guess unless we have Risky Honeys. That's pretty much the only thing they have in the folder that can block these magnums. But at 1 HP, I guess Beast Over can block them as well. That is fair. Machine Gun getting blocked as well.
Oh wow, getting through that entire barrier 200 on a sanctuary panel. I mean, if he didn't have that, that would have been 400 damage, and this would be really close.
Yeah. That's actually good. Let's see if we get bees against Beastmaster. That is the only out for Master to win the game now. Let's see if they can manage it. And there you go!
Oh no! They managed it.
But unfortunately, the bees were a bit too slow. I think if these were bees 3, then that could have actually won them the game. But bees were just a bit too slow and didn't quite show.
The bees are always just a little too lazy.
Ooh. Lazy bee. Alright, with that, let's head to the setups for our final match of the day with Shadow vs TheAlphaPlayer. So in this match, we have a new player. I'm not sure if you've heard of them. Shadow? I think I'm pronouncing.
That's right.
Yeah. Have you heard of them before? I don't know. Don't know much about them.
You know, I'm not saying you get special treatment if you host a tournament, but this was genuinely my favorite match that I played. So I really wanted to show it. It's a really good match.
Yeah, I mean, there is nothing against. I mean, you said it already. There's no. If it's a good match, it's shown. And to be fair, the alpha player is a new player. It's always good to have showing from a new player as well. We've had a few already, and we're going to end it on a new player. It's always fun.
So going into this Shadow Guys folder, he has Tango, which we've seen. He has Reflect, which we've seen. And someone was asking about a bugged folder, and this has a bug. It has the humor bug, and it's really difficult to bug humor in a 5x5. Let me tell you, it is hard. It ends up in the command line when you don't want it to, and so you have to always just throw in a charge plus there to bug it.
Yeah, I think you could have used float shoes if you wanted to by flipping it, right? If you put,
sure.
I mean, you
could
so.
Have,
yeah. If you put float shoes,
if you want float shoes over humor bug, which is a choice.
Yeah, it's true. And the funny thing is that Reflector in this case was actually the better choice. Usually, people end up using Shield because it takes up way less space, it's easier to fit and all of that. But in here, the only thing you could have fit was Reflector. That's fun.
Yeah, and it also doesn't give color bugs, so that's interesting. Anyway, you've seen most of these chips so far. A little bit of every code in here.
Yeah, I think an interesting decision you've gone for is using J code instead of T that moment to run element sword of.
Yeah, when I saw element sword and machine sword and assassin sword all available in the same pool, I was tempted and I tried to run as many as I could.
Did we have anyone who's running all three of them?
I don't think so. If you look over here, AlphaPlayer is playing both Element Sword and Assassin Sword as well. We've seen Assassin Sword, we've seen it on Reg. I think that's a really good tech here. We haven't seen Machine Sword anywhere, especially at the White Capsule. I thought it would be a little bit more played, but unfortunately not. But the J-code does allow you to slot in that Elect Pulse 3, which I thought was a good plan in case any bubble wraps or aqua crosses with those 2x bubbles came up.
Yeah, that is a good point. Don't think you're running any. Oh, you are one.
No, just the one. And then we have Roll 2. Roll 2 is fun because, if you get humor, it deals twice as much and it heals twice as much.
And with Undershirt, that could be really big for a comeback. Looking at the Alpha Players folder, so we can see they have the Corn Fiesta as well. But they also are running two interesting decisions. So we see they're going into that Z engine as well, and with Dragon and Boomerang Tika as well. So they have a lot of grass generation to be able to use these element assassins to get in 5x damage. No barrier 200.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. We have the Recover 200s, the Sanctuary, the Bubble Wrap. but not the Recover 200s. Probably to fit in that Corn Fiesta PA, which I completely understand.
Looking at the dynamic cost, so they have the Buster Pack, seen already. Yeah, I don't think there's too much. There's the HP plus 100, which is a bit unfortunate because it's exactly the same size as 2 HP plus 50s, which you basically don't really want to use. But when you're limited to the 5x5, there is only so much space you can have.
Yeah, it's a little rough, but you know they have full attack stats, I think, and you know full attack stats.
Is it full? I thought gives you +2.
+2 plus. Oh yeah, you're right. So +4 for each. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's close enough. Yes.
In this format, it's more than yeah.
Both players are playing Rhaegar as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how the charge exchanges play. Alright, I believe that's everything I had. Do you have anything else to add in?
Oh, no.
Alright, let's head to our final match for the day then. Make sure to take a look at the transition as well. Alright, that was a speedy custom going straight into the game. Shadow starting with that Magnum. And Corn Fiesta turn 1 gets partially blocked by the Barrier 200, still doing... Okay.
600 damage?
I mean, wasn't it 800 damage in total? Because the 200 got blocked already.
Yeah. I mean, it might have been more. Or no, it doesn't intensify 40, so yeah.
That's actually crazy. I don't think I've seen one do that much damage. That might be the highest damage I've ever seen from a Corn Fiesta. That's basically maximum damage Meteor Knuckles, just turn 1 for free.
Yeah, no one would ever get maximum damage Meteor Knuckles, right?
Yeah. So moving on, Tango activates turn 2 already, and we see that roll coming into benefit. Unfortunately, just barely missing out that time skip. And Draco in Twitch chat is saying, so we're looking at Shadow with that misfire bug. That is correct. I believe you have a Buster Bug level 1, so you have a 1 in 16 chance of firing a charge shot.
Yep, I believe so.
Losing all of that HP on turn 1, especially when you started with low base HP, it's going to be rough. And oh, the unfortunate miss. No emotion bug proc so far. First getting hit by that huge Corn Fiesta, and then
there's 2 times Magnum at least.
Yeah, 2 times Magnum's pretty nice value. Magnum's already pretty good on its own. I see Athens confused that we reference Shadow's usual bad luck, wondering, is it Shadow new? And no, that was just a joke. Shadow's been around the community for quite a while actually.
That's a nice way of putting it. Ooh. +1 slash man gets a lot of damage off.
Going into this turn, taking Boomer into that follow-up with the Element Zone. It's interesting deciding which one to give the white taps, if at all.
Just barely missed that element sword. They moved up and also got the bubble wrap off. Going into the next turn with anger, but they have an Anna damage up, so it's a little bit cursed.
Cursed indeed. So, yeah. The Anger Blast Man, unfortunately that will give flashing though, which isn't going to be quite enough for Shadow to finish off the game. So he takes out. Okay, I completely forgot you had the White Caps in there. Now going into game 2, starting with the Ice Field again. Seems like every player who's running Element Sword is starting with an Elemental Field. So I wonder if Shadow is going to get countered by it as well. Ooh, so one... another card!
Oh god.
Yeah.
Luckily that one didn't do 800 damage, but...
Ooh, that was still quite a bit of damage. It's around 480?
Trying to recover some health here. Let's see if there's a humor proc or not.
Yeah, I guess as Someone's saying, such value from bronze. Take so much damage that you can benefit from the heal.
I think that's what I usually try to do.
You just try to take on Fiesta turn 1 twice in a row. I guess ooh, nice. But now taking... I guess you want to activate Tango first before using that roll. Ooh, getting that lucky times 2. Nice. Ooh, another anger at the end of turn. And no, actually, the Alpha player will be
does
flashing.
he do it?
I think they will be flashing at the end of turn, so you wouldn't be able to mash out anything because you don't have any movements damage.
Yeah, no, they're flashing. They also have an Anna damage up, so...
Slash man coming down, but unfortunately again, no kunais. For kunais to come up, you need to step at the very back, then hold B. Or magic.
Slashman being a little bit lazy there in the middle of a movement.
Tango activation. But now these hands, oh no, this is the curse of custom 5, being able to...
This is what happens when you have Cust 5 and 5 different
yeah.
codes. You just have to be really precise with which one you want to use.
Yeah, the catches up to you, because if you take like a lot of chips in one turn, then you end up finding yourself stuck with the hand that... Ooh, nice, waiting the humor connecting, but you are stuck in there, just have to take that beast bust. I think technically the trade would be better for you if you use Reflector, because you do 50 damage and you can do it more often than they can do damage to you, but you are lower than it's an interesting position. Oh no, missing. Very unfortunate miss. Yeah, yours does connect and destroys these holy panels, but now you are stuck in that position. Nice, so you're just standing there to get the damage. Okay, that is definitely worth it for you. You are very low on HP. Down to 150, having some recoveries in hand. Ooh, but the Alpha player also has their own recoveries and very nice reflect there.
I mean, it's a small amount of HP, but with all the recovery, all the rolls, it's kind of nice to have that much effective health.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, just missed the. Well, I buster shot the bubble wrap, which was a mistake. Definitely should have waited to let the wind rack get it off.
The reflector value and the last man for free during the time freeze again. Nice, nice. But the Alpha player is also going to get their own set of recovery. Ooh, nice. Playing it patient, changing things up.
Yeah, definitely learning the reflect timing, making an effort to wait it out a couple frames to hit the.
Turn on tires. You can't cross. So, I mean, you can't be stabbed. So that would have done anyway. Wood Dragon coming down, barely blocking that charge shot with an anti-damage and getting a new charge shot.
Barely able to keep the area in the neutral. Not a lot here.
Very scary position. I feel like oh, you don't have spot. I was thinking you could go to spot cross to recover, but you're playing Grega. Ooh, free anger. Okay, nice. Actually, if you get an anger proc with this bubbles, okay, I was just saying it. And step back. Nice. A single buster shot. Buster proc is coming in. Oh, finish off the game. Oh wow, buster proc almost made the difference.
Oh, that's what you get for playing bugged.
Yeah, scary, scary. Yeah, well played, definitely very well played to both sides. I mean, the Alpha player was definitely putting up a fight, especially doing that early.
Oh yeah, that was definitely close. That was my favorite match this set. So
GG's.
thanks,
Yeah,
thank you, Alpha player.
thank you everyone for joining the tournament and the stream as well. Unfortunately, that was the final match for today's stream. But if you are looking for more Battle Network action, so as mentioned earlier on today's stream, there will be another Battle Network 6 tournament, but this time it will be standard. In fact, there will be 2 of them, one happening this week and one next week. So if you're looking to sign up for the one this week, sign-ups will end today. So make sure to sign up. Sign-ups should, I believe sign-ups will be open now or around the end of the stream time. But you only have today to sign up to get in your belts. And before ending the stream, I do want to give a quick shout out to the donations that we received during today's stream.
I also just want to say thanks to everyone for playing. Thanks for everyone who signed up. This was our most popular pool party yet. Loved seeing everyone who played. Loved seeing the new faces. I wanted to give a shout out to Marvino for doing a lot of the challenge scorekeeping, and also to Symes, who has pretty much finished all of his matches in this 1 week, which was extremely impressive. So thanks to everyone for playing.
Yeah, I mean, we get around 3 players, which is actually a very good number for a normal tournament. So to have that for a side tournament pool party, that's
Hey, don't call me side tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's 26 people. Hey.
intermission
but yeah.
tournament, not a side tournament.
An intermission tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can call it that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, definitely. So, just to give a quick shout out, thank you to Buster Cannon and Soup for donating during today's stream. Thank you for the support as always. And as Shadow mentioned earlier, just now, thank you everyone for joining us today, and special thank you for all of the participants for submitting and joining the tournament. Huge shout out to Shadow for organizing the tournament and doing a lot of the hard work, as well as Salad for making the tournament layout. I mean the stream layout. And as mentioned by Shadow, I do want to emphasize that Marvino did a lot of work by putting in these results. So everyone make sure to say thank you to Marvino. It is a lot of hard work, a lot of tedious hard work.
Yeah, and thank you to you, Player Zero, and to Salad for helping out with the stream.
Alright, with that, hopefully we'll see you again next week with another. So we're going to have more intermission streams. The plan for now is to have 2 for Battlefront 6 and 2 for 4.5. So stay tuned, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Goodbye!